Hi, my name is Ed Poteat. I'm an author, professor, real estate developer, and I've spent my entire adult life dealing with urban planning issues. I'm here today to talk about the fiscal crisis facing Mount Vernon. The city's budget is an explanation of how revenues and expenses are generated by the city. The city's revenues come from tax revenues. It's not infinite, but it's finite. The expenses are what's spent on police and fire and sanitation. Typically, it's the mayor's job to make the budget. City council signs off on the budget. Then you have the comptroller and the mayor's commissioners that go forth and spend down on that budget. It's actually no different than what happens in your household when mom and dad every week figure out what bills need to be paid based on what income that they brought in. One of the interesting things about city budgets is people believe cities have infinite resources and that they ask, well, why doesn't the city fix all of its schools, take care of all of its streets, and hire 1,000 police officers? Cities' budgets are actually very finite and specifically based on tax revenue. So cities can only spend what it generates in taxes. One of the problems that Mount Vernon has is that its residents are already overtaxed. And so one of the challenges it faces is how to create those services, maintain those level of services, and not keep on taxing its residents, which gets to why the budget for 2019 is especially problematic. As former Mayor Ernie Davis used to say, that 65 cents of every taxpayer dollar goes towards the school's budget. The city of Mount Vernon's budget has no responsibility for its school system, which is good. It also has no responsibility for various county issues that the county would cover, like highways and our trains. However, everything else within the city, police, firemen, water and sewer, healthcare, that's all the responsibility of the city of Mount Vernon. Our budget roughly is about $200 million per year. In January 15th, CNN announced that Mount Vernon lost its credit rating in the public markets. So what does that mean? Again, the easiest way to explain this is getting back to your household. Mom and dad, like a lot of households, live paycheck to paycheck. They pay for expenses such as a medical bill or a family vacation through a credit card. Now imagine if mom and dad lost or couldn't access or didn't have any credit cards to pay for any expenses that came up, planned or unplanned. That's where the city of Mount Vernon is now. We live year to year with our budgets. If any emergencies, any type of large expenses come up that we want to do, we're not able to because we've lost our credit ratings in the public market. What's even more problematic, though, is the reason why. Wall Street said that for 2 years there were certain agencies controlled by the mayor that they don't have audits for. And without those audits, Wall Street said that they couldn't justify giving Mount Vernon any credit rating. So there's two questions. First, our tax dollars are being spent. So where are those audits? Secondly, what does the city do now that it doesn't have a public rating? This should happen immediately. Those audits should be released immediately. We should be talking to Wall Street immediately and getting these credit ratings back. And it doesn't seem like that's happening at all with City Hall right now. So mom and dad are living their lives without any credit cards, without any way to pay for a medical bill, a family trip, the car breaks down, anything happens bad. The household is in jeopardy, the city of Mount Vernon is in jeopardy. The two agencies under question, one is the Urban Renewal Agency, the other one is the Industrial Development Agency. The Urban Renewal Agency's job is to actually take possession of privately owned properties and create large swaths of property for positive development here in the city. That's their ostensible job. The Industrial Development Agency, like it sounds, is to create space and opportunities for industry to come into Mount Vernon. That's what should be happening. because we don't have the audits, there's no way to figure out what they're up to or what their stated purposes are, well, since 2016. But that's what those two agencies are supposed to do. Those two agencies are under the direct control of the mayor. So the question is, how do we correctly balance the budget here at Mount Vernon? For too long, the taxpayers, the homeowners here in Mount Vernon have been shouldering the burden of taxes here in the city. And if you look at our peer groups of New Rochelle and Yonkers, those homeowners pay less because those cities have done a much better job of bringing in commerce into the city and then having commerce pay its share of taxes. Which is why our budget now is very problematic, because any increases in expenses will directly be paid for by homeowners. What Mount Vernon needs is more commerce. It needs to have industry or more service industries or a hotel come here so that it can help shoulder that tax revenue. If you look at the mall which was built on Sanford Boulevard, that's the type of development that Mount Vernon needs. It needs more industry, it needs more commerce, it needs a hotel, it needs a convention center, something besides taxes being shouldered just by homeowners. So if we're looking for more services, if we want to have a bigger city budget, we should have all those things. But those things can't be paid for by the homeowners of Mount Vernon. If you look at the school board, what it's done over the past 4 or 5 years is figure out how to balance its budget with zero increases on homeowners, because they realize, like City Hall should realize, that the homeowners here in Mount Vernon are overtaxed.